Hi everyone, we are here at Databricks AI Summit and look who I have with me, Eric, the SVP of Product and Strategy at Posit. Eric, welcome to the Ravit Show. Such a pleasure to host you today. I'm excited to learn a little about what's happening at Posit, also a little about your role. And I know you all have like deeper partnership with Databricks as well, so wanting to learn a little about that. But why not just for our audience, quickly tell us a little about yourself, what do you do at Posit, and also a little about Posit too, please.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's
For
a pleasure
sure.
to be with you today. My name is Eric Pité. I've
Yep.
been with the company for about 5.5 years. I
Very
lead
nice.
product and strategy, so product management, um, strategic integration partnership like Databricks, where we are today.
Fantastic.
And yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. Eric, thanks for sharing that. I'm kind of, I've seen Posit for a while now, but I've also followed RStudio back then. So I'm kind of wanting to know a little bit about that story too, about Posit's rebrand from RStudio, and also a little bit if you can talk about, the increased focused on Python.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
can you share a little bit?
Yeah, so the company was created under the name RStudio about 16 years ago by JJ Allaire, and he decided to give back to community by building better tooling for the R ecosystem.
Right?
After that, Joe Chang also built Shiny, and
Yeah.
Hadley Wickham built many open source R packages over the years. And about 7, 8 years ago, we realized that R is really important, but for data science, Python is equally important. So we started to make investment in a Python ecosystem,
Nice.
and we realized that the name, the brand RStudio, was working against us. Like the analogy we often take is if you have a friend who's vegan, you want to take your friend to a restaurant and it says a steakhouse,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a hard time to explain to your friends. So we, about 3 years ago almost now, we decided to rebrand from RStudio to Posit so that we're not tied to one language. We are building a company that we hope is going to be around for over 100 years.
Yep.
And so 100 years, there won't be R, there won't be Python. So being tied to a language name was a challenge. So that's why we rebranded.
Now I
But
get
it's the
this,
same company.
It's the same company, but now I get the the analogy behind changing the name. So that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. Also talking a little bit about since you all started open source, how do you kind of keep that balance between open source in the enterprise, but at the same time posit balances between machine, community, and commercials.
Yeah.
So that's massive way to balance things, and at the same time give back to the community as much as possible.
Yeah, that's
Can you tell a little about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the company was really founded initially to build great open source products.
Right?
And we build what we call the virtuous circle, which we create great open source products that get traction in the market. Those data scientists using it will then go into enterprise, want to use those tools, and we build enterprise grade solution leveraging this open source solution. We charge for that, and then the proceed that we get, we reinvest back in the open source. So that's kind of this virtuous circle.
Right.
So we have, between 17 and 1800 customers.
Wow.
And each time I meet them, I said, whether you know it or not, you actually contribute to open source.
Exactly.
Because
So
about
true.
40% of our engineering is dedicated to open source that we give away. So the root of the company is really open source. About 5.5 years ago, 6 years ago, we moved the company from a C corporation to a public benefit corporation. So
Nice.
maybe some of your listeners don't know quite what a public benefit corporation. So when you're a C corporation, you have one goal: maximization of shareholder value. This is it.
Yeah.
For public benefit corporation, there are multiple stakeholders, and we basically inscribe that in our charter. Customers, employees, the greater good that we specify in our charter.
Right. Right.
So we made that change about 5.5 years ago.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's for the greater good and for the community as well. So that's those are fantastic insights, Eric. Thanks for sharing that. I kind of also have like a little bit of curiosity around Positron and the Posit Databricks partnership.
Yeah.
Since you look after the integration bit as well, can you share a little about that?
Yeah, so I'll start with Databricks since we are hosted by Databricks
Yes.
here today. Um, we integrate our products with them so that there is no headache for the end user. The
Yep.
data scientists, they don't need to have specific access token to access. Everything is integrated inside POSIX Workbench
Right.
to make their life easy. So, OAuth, all the credentials pass through. And what we do, which is really important also, is like make sure that we leverage all the data governance
Right.
that Databricks offers that is very strong. So if we build an interactive application, you access it, I access it, we have different access within Databricks, we will see different things.
Yeah.
So, inheriting the governance that you have in Databricks, I think is really important for enterprise. We do it for Databricks. In all transparency, we do it for others as well,
Yeah.
Snowflake and other
Exactly.
players. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So that's for the Databricks side. Positron, so we started as RStudio. The RStudio idea was the first product we built. And we've learned a lot over more than 10 years. And we had a lot of customers and users coming to us and say, could you do PyStudio? Basically RStudio for the
Right.
Python language.
Yeah.
And so a few years ago, we decided to solve that problem, which is offer a multi-language IDE specifically for data scientists. So we took a fork out of VS Code,
Right.
leveraging all the great ecosystem
Yep.
and all the extension you can get from VS Code, but really focusing on solving the problems that data scientists have. So all the good learnings over the last 10 plus years on the RStudio IDE are now in Positron, which is available today for download, and will go GA next month.
That's awesome. So we'll wait for that. And
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that on the Ravit Show. We're excited to see how that's kind of coming together. I'm kind of also wanting to learn a little bit about Posit's view on AI for data science.
Yeah.
That is something huge because everyone's kind of, obviously we've been hearing the buzz around AI. We've been seeing fantastic use cases coming around AI. But how does it looks like in data science?
Yeah, that's a great question. AI is all the buzz these days. Everywhere you go,
Right.
the pace of improvement
Huge.
has been hard to believe for me. If anyone told me 3 years ago I'll be able to do what I'm able to do today, I probably wouldn't have believed it.
No way. Yeah, exactly.
So we want to empower, data scientists to do more, and we have a number of products integrated in Positron to be able to do that.
Nice.
From code assistant to doing exploratory data analysis. But we want to do it in a very responsible way. We realize that there is a lot of trust given into a data scientist. So our data scientists need to be able to see and prove what they're doing.
Right.
We know that LLMs are prone to hallucination. So that's kind of our take, which is, really empower the data scientists in a very responsible way by showing them the code, letting them edit and inspect the code.
I love it. That's definitely super helpful for the users, but also leveraging AI in the best way possible.
Yes.
So that's fantastic, Eric. One more quick question I had was around the communication bit. So communicating data-driven work with code and storytelling. Why do you think it's important?
Yeah. So, if you look at the flow of a data scientist, usually you want to answer a question or multiple questions. You access data, you write code. We're a code first company.
Yes.
You write code to generate your insight. You're very happy with yourself, but then you need to share that with other stakeholders, right? You're not going to go with your laptop around the office to share that. So we've built a number of products. Some of them are free and open source. Others are more for the enterprise. And so they're coupled. Like Posit Connect really allows the data scientist to publish a lot of artifacts.
Right.
And about 3-4 years ago, we built something called Quartto. So Quartto helps you do what we call literate programming, which I think was coined by probably Donald Knuth many years ago. 10 plus years ago, we did R Markdown, which allows you to have code and prose and all of that in the same document. So we revamped that to be again multilingual. You could do it with the R language, you could do it with Python, you could do it with Julia, you could do it with observable JS if you want, and many other things. And that's also a testimony to balancing for us, open source versus enterprise solution. We believe that products like Quartto should be accessible and available to everybody.
Right.
And that's why
Very
it's fully open source for us.
That's very important and very thoughtful as well. So thanks for making sure that Posit is for the community. As always, the mission never stops to give it back to the community. But at the same time, you all have like fine balance between the commercial side and the enterprise side as well, which is fantastic. Eric, one last question for our audience. If folks want to stay updated with all the insights, all the announcements, everything that you all are producing, where can they do that? And also, if they want to follow you, where can they follow you? Is LinkedIn the best place?
LinkedIn is a good place, probably the best place for me. But more important for the company, our website, we have newsletter, we have a strong presence on LinkedIn, Blue Sky.
Nice.
But I would invite everybody to follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to the newsletters.
Fantastic. So you all know where you all can follow Posit and team and stay updated with all the insights. Eric, such a pleasure chatting with you on the Ravit Show. We'll keep the conversation going. Great work that you all are doing in this space. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone for joining us today.